One. All right, everybody, welcome back. YouTube channel where we have Matt Dusseault of Eviction CrossFit, owner of Eviction CrossFit and Side by Side Nutrition. Matt, thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. It's a little weird being on the other side of the mic with you.
So, right, because I've been on your podcast, the Eviction Radio podcast, twice,
right?
You know, and
yeah,
that was interesting. So thanks for taking the time. All right, so I'm trying to provide value. So on our YouTube channel that we've launched, I've had like a residential mortgage person. We recorded the video with my business partner regarding the CARES Act and all the big changes to retirement plans. One market update by Morningstar Managed Portfolios, but a lot of other services. We had Geffen on here talking about insurance. We had a benefits person. Are you covered by disability insurance? So we're just trying to add value. So one of the values, I think the biggest thing during this time, at-home workouts can be discussed, but nutrition and diet and, you know, walking by the snack cabinet now that everybody's home all day and things. And if you do snack, you know, what are the recommendations to try to, like, you know, stop the bleeding first as far as like people gaining weight. But like, seriously, if you take your health serious, what are some steps that people should be taking, you know, more or less?
Well, yeah, we're definitely in a crazy time right now. And, you know, it's sad to me. You see all these people that feel like they don't have any sort of control over the situation. And I feel like if they were either more educated, knowledgeable, or had maybe a different environment around them where they were exercising regularly and they knew more about nutrition and how powerful it is and how it can have such a huge impact on just your overall well-being, that you would feel like you have some power in this, you know, like you can actually make a difference. You can strengthen your immune system and, you know, just be a healthier person to be able to combat something like COVID-19. So it kind of saddens me a little bit that, you know, how people are reacting to it and that they feel helpless. But I think that we're going to bounce back. We're going to be stronger than ever. And I hope more people, you know, really focus on their own personal health and see how important it is. You know, the majority of the people that are really suffering and passing from this are, you know, they have underlying health conditions, and like type 2 diabetes is a great example of it, where it's proven, it's documented, it's 100% reversible. So, I mean, talk about just having the ability to change, you know, you can reverse it. It's not something that's forever. It's not something that you have to live with. You can make a huge difference there. So,
so there's a need for those services and nutrition services, but you're saying the need needs to like turn into demand with folks wanting to get healthier, you know, and feeling that they can be in control.
Yeah, that's just it. I think that, you know, we've relied as a society on, you know, just commercials and just advertisements from these big food companies and these people that typically, I mean, their mindset revolves around profits, right? And I don't blame them for that, but it's not like they're not trying to create the healthiest society possible. You know, there's no money. It's not like a carrot farmer is, you know, able to put a Super Bowl commercial on. Like they can't,
right.
You know, they never do that. So, you know, you got like Frito-Lay,
but there could be
Coca-Cola.
Avocados from Mexico, though.
Yeah.
Avocados from Mexico.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're on every Super Bowl commercial.
But, you know, you see like Coca-Cola and Budweiser, all the, you know, their business isn't like improving the health of the country or the world.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like we are kind of set up to be in the predicament that we're in a way, and people have to, you know, kind of take the blinders off and put their own health in their hands and not just rely on a vaccine or medication or anything like that. They're far more powerful than they feel like they are. At least that's my perception of, you know, the area. So,
well, like with both of your services then, right? The gym and the nutrition, recommended steps to get started. I feel like the first thing is just showing up, right? It's like I don't have, it's just changing behavior early can then become a habit and those types of things. Like what are some steps you think are tips or tricks that you would give somebody to get started?
Well, to get started, yeah, absolutely. Show up, showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you said habits, and it makes me automatically think about like, willpower and your environment. So you have to create an environment to set yourself up to succeed, no matter what it is. And so, I had a bunch of nutrition consultations last night through Zoom, and
Mm-hmm.
a couple, we're just talking about like, they're eating more candy than normal because they're working from home, and they have all these things around us. They got the junk drawer right there, and with all the snacks and everything. And so, I like to explain to people like your willpower, you have a picture, a reservoir of willpower. Like it's finite, it will run out. So you have to set up
Mm-hmm.
the environment so you don't need to tap into that willpower so often. So you got to set yourself up to succeed. And by doing that, you know, create a little workout room, schedule it on your calendar, just make it easier to get into these good habits. And for nutrition, make sure you don't have the junk drawer so easily accessible. Either put it somewhere, or, if you're going to have a bad meal, or then have it one day or one night, and then that's it. Like, don't keep the food, don't keep the French fries and everything just lingering for days and days, and you got to like walk right by it and try to avoid them. So setting up the environment is huge for, I think, all things health and productivity, right? Just business as well. Like, you set up the
Right.
environment, is definitely a good tip.
So, all right, that's a good one. I mean, like when people are home, yeah, they go back to their vices and they have it laying around the house. Like, so changing the environment up or whatever. Well, so you're saying it's better to have a cheat day during the week or the month rather than having a little bit of a cheat every day? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I've had this conversation quite a bit with some friends, and people like to say all things in moderation, and I just feel like that doesn't apply with nutrition. With exercise, I could see it applying, but with nutrition, I would rather you eat like a bad meal or even a bad day over eating, a little bit of bad food every day.
Every day. Yeah, it makes sense,
And
I guess.
and just for blood sugar regulation, and just a lot of things. Just, you're kind of set, if you have it in moderation daily, you're setting yourself up for systemic chronic inflammation, that's just constant. Whereas if you get it all in and over with, you're not gonna digest everything. A lot of it will just go through you undigested, which is fine. You don't absorb it. So, as far as nutrition goes, I'm not necessarily a believer in, all things in moderation.
All right, fair enough. Now, and then blurring those two worlds together, I think it's really smart that you're approaching health with Eviction CrossFit, with the workouts and the nutrition. If you're kind of heavy on one or the other, then it's really not a full-fledged. I mean, you see the guys at other gyms, I guess, that are maybe not CrossFit gyms, but they got the beer gut and their muscles are like cranked because they can do a million curls, but they're also doing IPA curls right after the workout.
Oh, yeah.
And so having those two together, has there been challenges on going heavy on one side or the other, besides obviously the stay-at-home order? But has there been challenges getting the word out on both, or has that been a pretty seamless thing to have both like that?
Well, they go hand in hand, right? Like, you can't work hard in the gym and then not do anything at home. You're just kind of like, you're not even canceling each other out. You're just not even making any progress. You might make initial progress real quick, but then that comes to an end.
Yeah.
So this was a personal project for me, Eviction CrossFit and side by side. It's always I've been interested for like the last 10 years, and it's just evolved, right? So I had a couple buddies working out in my garage, and then we built a barn on my property, and then it went from a couple buddies to, a pretty, well, it went to a small group, 20 or 25 people. And
Yeah.
so pretty early on, I recognized that, people are still eating the, grinder and chips at lunch. And it would kind of annoy me, and I would bust on them or whatever. And so what I did was, this is going back a couple of years, every morning I would work out with the group. I would start a clock, and for a minute, I would just talk about a topic, and it was generally around nutrition or a lifestyle change. And so I would just talk about it for a minute. And I couldn't believe the impact within like the first couple weeks. I mean, people are coming up to me, oh, you mentioned this about sleep a couple weeks ago, and I actually have been doing that, and my sleep has improved. Or, I changed what I'm eating for lunch or breakfast, and I feel great. I lost I was stuck at this weight, and that got me down another 5 pounds. It's just, it was right in front of me. I saw the impact of making these small changes. We're working on implementing that daily into Eviction CrossFit with athletes, but it's kind of tough because, now I'm not coaching every class. So now I have coaches, and you have to give it authentically. You have to give like a talk on something outside of the gym, health related. Like you have to know really what you're talking about exactly. So I couldn't just say, hey, coaches, talk about insulin response for a minute every day, So we haven't been able to implement it, but it's so important. It really is.
Right.
It's so important. And in the side-by-side practice, we get to work with athletes, individuals. So we reach out outside of the gym. Most of our clients actually aren't even members at the gym. And we get to dive in. You go to your doctors, and I think the average is, I mean, there's a lot of stats on it, but it's like you get to actually talk to your doctor at a normal visit for less than a minute, like where you're actually opening and closing your mouth, and they're listening.
Right.
So, and I'm not claiming, I'm not a doctor, not even close, but you need somebody that is knowledgeable with nutrition, knows, what's good, what's not, to listen to what, you're experiencing or what you're going through, and what do you have issues with, or what have you tried before that worked, what didn't work. And it takes time. It takes more than, it takes more than a minute, it takes more than 5 minutes, it takes more than 10 minutes. So, we set up hour-long consultations, and sometimes we talk just about food. Other times we talk about sleep. We talk about willpower, and, whatever it is. And we've developed a pretty significant, pool of resources to help people. So, I mean, my recommendations through side by side, like last night, I sent some recommendations out. There was a couple books. It was a electric tea kettle to try to create that environment of having tea at night, because you're eating snacks late at night, and maybe you could have a different, just an alternative to that. So it ranges greatly, and but it's because it's all tied together,
Yeah, I mean, I like that tailored solution. The Smith household, full disclosure, have been clients on both sides, and we've seen the process and how extensive it is, and it's kind of like what I believe in on the financial planning side. Each recommendation comes from, not one blanket, one size fits all, or one product that we like. We really get into the weeds in regards to what we're looking to accomplish individually, and then and side by side, you've done the same thing. And so, I guess my recommendation, right, would be, if you're unhappy or unsatisfied with any one of your health circumstances, whether it be working out or nutrition or both, is set up consultation, right? The process is you get a consultation before you become a client, just to kind of interview. And is that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, then, on both sides. I think the best way to do it is just call me, send me an email. And whether you're interested in the gym, we do what's called a no sweat intro. And that's just meeting at the gym after work or whenever you can. And we just talk about things. We just I go over, I make you comfortable. So the way that, people stay members and they're set up to be successful at the gym or the nutrition is just feeling comfortable, like feeling comfortable with the process, what it's going to look like on your first day, what it's going to, what the experience is going to be. And then that kind of breaks down some barriers to get people in the door and be like, all right, this is for me, or maybe it's not for me. But either way, it gets them to, have that feeling. So that's what I recommend. Set up a
the Zoom nutrition thing. It makes sense. Yeah.
The
nutrition thing, it makes sense for the Eviction CrossFit where I jumped in. Not everybody has the personality that I do to just jump in and start ripping workouts what I had no business doing, but I tried. Kristen, she had a great. My wife Kristen had a great approach. We signed up for the gym day one on that open house that you had, and then the first 2 workouts were individual lessons, just with a trainer, a personal trainer that you offer. But it was my recommendation. It was while a gym workout was going on or whatever, or shortly before or after, so she can see like what it's all about and how it works. And my personal thing is you don't have to be a CrossFitter to do CrossFit workouts. That was the biggest thing that I had to, communicate with her and others, that it's not, and you don't have to like be a professional athlete to have a nutritionist. Like if you pay for it, you'll do it. That, it's a bigger commitment. If you pay for something, then you're going to, I'm paying for it anyway. Let's give it a whirl, and then you become habit and more lifestyle. Right.
And then you have the community aspect. But yeah, so every the $1 million question with air quotes is, how are you going to feel most comfortable starting this with us? Is it in a one-on-one setting, couple one-on-one sessions, so you can ask 1 million questions, or in a group setting? And if you're, if people are like you, where you're like, oh, I don't give a shit what people think about me, like I'll ask a question in a big group. I don't care. Like, then a group setting's fine. Jump in, because you can ask those questions, but it's just about feeling comfortable asking the questions. So we encourage. We don't have, we're not a competitive CrossFit gym. We're a normal people CrossFit gym. Like, we're middle-aged people. We're not running around with our shirts off, and you said it on our podcast, like eating dumbbells and throwing tires. That's not us. We're looking to increase our fitness, and so we can use it, with the family on the weekend. We can go hiking and and just want to do more after the hike's over, so boosting energy. And so that's what we're all about.
Good.
That's why we.
All right, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. Last one, lightning round. Back to this side-by-side thing. Yogurt, good or bad?
Ooh, generally speaking, bad. Just because mass produced, if you go with like a raw milk type yogurt or something, but like a Chobani, that just off the shelf Chobani is going to be, they replace a lot of the healthy fat with sugar. So I'm going to say bad.
Okay. Fruit for breakfast with the high sugar content, good or bad?
Berries, low sugar. So I'd go with some berries. I would like to see healthy fats and some protein in the morning. You got to win the morning if you want to have a good day. So breakfast, first time you eat, let's say, definitely get some healthy fats in there. That'll keep you satiated throughout the day, so you're not starving and craving. And it will also not create a blood sugar roller coaster all day where you crave sugar and then then you're hungry. It's just so I would say fruit, but with with a healthy fat, with maybe in like a chia seed pudding, put some berries in it. So the chia seed pudding would be like coconut milk, chia seeds, and blueberries or strawberries.
I've actually had it lately.
Nice.
Not bad. So all right, portion control or no carbs?
Oh, geez. So portion
He's on the
control.
fly, by the way.
Portion control. I mean, the ultimate goal for everybody is to eat intuitively. So the whole macro thing is, I'm not a macro fan. I think it could be good short term to understand like ratios and look at plates, but in the end, like after you go, we have a 3-month program that we typically run people through. After you go through that, like I don't want you worrying about how many grams of protein you had that day. I just want you throughout the day to say, oh, I should eat some more protein today. I haven't really had much. So portions, no, I mean, eat as many vegetables as you can. I would say if you're not eating 2 big handfuls of greens of some sort, like arugula, salad, whatever it is, 2 big handfuls of greens a day, then you're not doing it right. So get the greens in there, and don't worry about the portions, especially when it's vegetables and meat.
Last one, vodka soda, or is vodka soda and those hard seltzer things actually, if you're gonna drink, the better ones to have, or can I splurge on an IPA every once in a while, or wine?
Oh man, I like red wine. Dry farmed red wine would trump both of those in my book. So
really,
yeah, like
okay.
like organic dry farm just means an organic, no pesticides. They don't have to irrigate it, so the roots grow deeper into the soil, and that produces a better grape. So I would say dry farm wine number one. As far as the hard liquor thing, I get it all the time. I don't know, man. God, it's just like one's less bad than the other. They're both bad,
Right,
so,
they're both bad. All
so
right,
I'm
fair
not, yeah,
enough.
like at least there's some health benefits, some resveratrol and other health benefits, compounds in red wine that I can kind of get behind. So, yeah, red wine.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for the time. As I'm thanking you, I'm going to pull up both websites, Side by Side Nutrition. Check them out. I know you're all over Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff too. We got Eviction CrossFit. When we open back up, you guys will be rocking and rolling. I know you're making some improvements already that you sent out in an email. Come check it out,
Yeah.
So, and you'll see me there grunting and sweating and whatever.
Hey, Aaron, it's Get Side by Side. So I just want to finish 3 quick things. So getsidebyside.com
Yep.
is the website. Listen to our podcast every week. I'm pointing the wrong way. There you go. Eviction
No, you got
Radio
it. Yep.
podcast.
Yep.
So we're talking with local businesses. We have a health focus, obviously, and definitely some inspirational stories on there. Eviction CrossFit, evictioncrossfit.com. Email matt@evictioncrossfit.com, and you can find us on social media. It's easy. So definitely would love to talk to any and everyone.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good weekend.